Well, we'll come round into the vegetable garden where we've been growing horseradish in this little patch for, it's probably been in here 8 or 9 years, and it's spread out to form these quite wide clumps. Now this is all going to have to move later this season because we've got building work going on just to the side of this area. So what I'm going to do now is dig some of this horseradish up and show you what the roots look like in an established clump. But it really is worthwhile getting some of this. You can buy it from garden centres or grow it from seed. It takes about 3 or 4 years to get a decent sized patch for you to harvest, but it's worthwhile growing if you really do love horseradish sauce. So let's get digging, show you what the roots look like. Well, I've got a spade right under this great big clump, and just look at that. Huge, great big, thick, very fibrous crown of horseradish root with these little spurs coming out where the new growth starts. Now all those will transplant as a new plant, but what I'm wanting to do is harvest off a decent lump of this fresh white root that we can grate and form a horseradish. And I'm looking at this thinking I'm not going to get much growth from this bit, so I'm going to take my spade right the way through there and take this whole lump off. And I'll also probably take a few smaller bits just to see if that's too fibrous or not white all the way through. You're really looking for some lovely white root. So let's have a go. Well, I've severed this section. Very mature piece this. Ideally you'd be looking for something a little thinner like this. That's probably more than enough to make a good portion of a good strength horseradish sauce. And we're going to clean this up now, because what we want to do, get all the soil from that just with a brush under a tap, and then we'll peel it, take it in and show you how to prepare it into a sauce. Well, I've got the horseradish root planted out now. What we've done is just prepared a little bed here on the edge of the new vegetable garden where it can stay hopefully for the next 10 or 20 years. We're going to water these in. They're not looking particularly happy having been moved. I think the roots, the little fibrous roots that we showed you on the most healthy little bit, weren't coming off in any great volume from these thick old pieces that were on a very established and old run of roots that probably went down 2 or 3 feet and were broken off when we dug it up. But nonetheless, I think they'll get going. We're going to water these in. We'll keep them watered well during the spring and early summer till they're growing away, and I'm hoping we can get a decent sized patch of horseradish established in this bit of the garden where we can leave it here and come and harvest horseradish as and when we require over the next few years.